I drove my Harley this morning because I wanted to get in here quick because I got a call from our security last night that the Land Rover got dropped off. So I want to check this thing out. That's not my bike. I don't even know whose bike it is. But the Land Rover did get dropped off, and there it is, with skid marks going up to the rear wheels. That's not a good way to start off our introduction to my new ride. Why do we got all these skid marks? Oh, because they're driving it on flat tires. Well, the tire's bald anyway, so I guess I don't care about the tire. But what the heck? Well, I guess the flip side is they were driving it, right? I mean, how do you get the skid marks? If the transporter dropped it right here, it wouldn't have the skid marks going up to it. I don't see any loader damage, which is surprising because I did get it from Copart, so that doesn't make sense. There's a panel missing there, and the running board's hanging loose. That's all Copart damage because none of that was like that when I bought it, or in the pictures. But the rest of it looks pretty good. Well, that's encouraging. So let's see if we can find the keys. I'm gonna use logic. Let's go check the drop box. Ah, Land Rover, baby. All right. Okay, so will it have a good battery? You know what? I'm just gonna get a jump pack. Let's see if the body shop's got one. It's out here by the body shop anyway. Hey, I need a jump pack real quick, just for 2 seconds.
That's where it's supposed to be.
Where's your jump pack?
You motherfuckers can't put it back after you borrow it.
Come on, I just need it for a second, dude.
It's not here. No jump pack, no room.
Nate said they don't have one.
And my boss is on the rag.
Let's get one from the mechanical side. Ah, look at this. Joe left one out for me. Excellent. All right, so the moment of truth. It's not always about if it runs, it's about how it sounds. Especially because this car, if you look right here, it's been sitting there for 2 years. There's a lot more question marks when the car's been sitting around for so long, because all kinds of stuff can go bad, including fuel. Supercharged V6 in this bad boy. All right. Yeah, look at this. 2.6 volts is all it's got. That's why we didn't get any chimes or buzzers when we opened the door. Our power board is disconnected on one side. I suspect what happened is Copart picked it up from the side. They busted off the bracket here and knocked off that panel all at the same time. 42,000 miles. All right, you ready? Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Oh, that was not very eventful. Smart key not recognized. Well, it's in my pocket. I'm trying all the different spots that I can think of. I did the right side of the column. Let's do the left side. Who knows? Maybe that one will work. Come on, settle out. It sounds pretty good. All right, we need to get some good oil in this thing and get some good gas in it. But encouraging, it did start and sounds good. Look what I found on the passenger seat. So you know that's gonna be that panel there. We'll get it in on the lift when we're doing the frontline checklist. Figure out what's going on with that bracket. So I was wondering about the key because it's a recovered theft unit and a lot of times they're not programmed right. Also, the VIN tags. A lot of times the VIN is missing off of these, and as you can see, that VIN is completely gone. So I need to make sure Kelsey gets us a VIN tag ordered. And as a matter of fact, look at this. The lost type is missing altered VIN. So make sure we don't forget about that. In the meantime, I'll get some tires ordered, and then we'll get it on somebody's list to get it in the shop. All I asked you to do was put a battery in it, and you got it on a lift.
So they put these right here, your pickup points, your left points. They built them underneath the running board. So I have this pad on the bracket. This is broke, so I snuck that one underneath.
Yeah.
But you see how they put it right there?
These brackets are MIA?
I don't have no running boards.
So you need that bracket. This bracket's here, but broken. Yeah. So you need both these brackets and the board.
Yeah, the board's gonna be that's gonna be a piece of the
And you
board.
need that one with the pigtail. And you need this front bracket. Well, make sure you get all this rode up because we need to know this. Huh, interesting. That's not gonna be cheap.
Why put them back on? Like we'll get rid of them, just delete it.
Yep, I agree. Take them all off.
I'll have Joe take care of that. We'll just put it up in there.
Yep. Yeah, I like your thinking. Golly geez, little Danny. Occasionally, you do have a good idea.
Occasionally. They come to me. Just a little slow.
right, so how's the job going with getting those brackets off of there?
We got 3 of them off, 1 left.
Damn, look at these things. This thing is huge. It's made to pick up a house. Come on. I broke it.
This one got hit by something. It took this one off. I just had to get all the broken pieces that was left over.
Yeah. I see you got the splash shield off. What are you changing the oil?
Yeah.
You've already done that or no?
Getting up here. Now I just got my box with my wipers, air filters.
Okay, well,
Go to the fluid.
making progress. Sounds good. Danny wrapped up with the frontline checklist, but he found a couple things. Let me show you. First of all, the key. All it needed was a battery. So we got a new battery in here. Now look at this. It starts without having to put the key up against the side of the steering column. So that's good. We got rid of that error message. Second of all, we have a message for an airbag light and for an SOS system not working. And that all has to do with this console right here, which used to be up here. So what smart thieves do when they steal a car is they cut off all the communication with the outside world. One of the buttons that used to be here is for the SOS system. They've ripped the button out, tore the wires out of the back of it. So I ordered a new console. When that comes in, we'll be able to hook the wires back up. It'll see the button. That should get rid of our SOS message. Same with the airbag. There is a little screen right here that tells you that the passenger's airbag is off. The airbag system is not seeing that screen because the wires have been pulled out of it. So once we get the console in there and it sees the screen and it can light up the light, that should take care of our airbag message as well. So I just went on eBay and I found one of these things for 99 bucks coming out of California. So we should have it in 4 or 5 days. We'll get it installed. We'll clear out all the codes. We should be good to go. I got the Land Rover back in the shop because our new console came in, and I'm excited. I want to put this thing in. Being the expert grade A technician that I am, I think I can plug in a couple wires. 1, looks like it's actually the right console. 2, 3, all right. Get it in there, get the insulation in the right place. The clips. Ha ha ha. Okay, the moment of truth. Abada ebada, here we go. Oh, airbag lights out. We're running through the error messages. We got service required. We got a tire pressure, a door. Let's see if it goes back. Oh, SOS system malfunction. We might have to go in the system and clear it out. So in the meantime, we got our new set of shoes came in for it. I'm gonna take it over to Goodyear, get those installed. Then we'll get to put some miles on it, make our final punch list. Goodyear just called and said that the Monarch has her new shoes on it. I'm gonna go snatch that thing up because I wanna get to drive her home tonight. I got to drive the Boss Rover last night. What a cool car, fun drive. Really a nice car, good, smooth, powerful. I didn't find anything wrong with it, so that's encouraging. There are a couple little things though. We've still got an error message in the cluster that the SOS system has limited functionality. Hopefully that's just an error that's still stored in there from when it wasn't having communication with the switch. And when we did the oil change, we didn't reset it in the computer. So keep your fingers crossed that we can let this car go to detail today. Don't let me slow you down. Oh, you want me to hold the door for you? You're like my wife.
I don't know what I'm doing.
It needs service. I'm sorry. 2 things. There's an error message in the cluster that the SOS system has limited functionality, which I'm hoping is still like an open circuit left over from that switch being disconnected. And whoever did the oil change didn't reset it in the cluster.
Okay.
I don't like it when you look concerned like that. I really don't like that at all.
All the antennas are open.
Drop the headliner.
Where is it?
It's in the back. Now look at this. You can see where they've had it down. So what Joe's talking about by antennas are open is he's getting open circuits in the antennas. So very common when you steal a car, you gotta disconnect all the communication with the outside world. Hopefully they just unplugged them and they didn't rip them out.
There's a couple of them unplugged.
And there's one ripped out.
And one ripped out. Hopefully I can figure out.
What do they plug into? You see the other end is still plugged onto that antenna.
Yeah, right here.
All right, well, mystery solved. Now hopefully he can fix it. So here's the antenna. It ends up, when they rip the wires off, they actually broke the little clips on the bottom side of the antenna. So even with getting the wires back on there, they're not snapping, they're not connecting onto the antenna. So we need a new antenna. So I've gone on eBay, I found some on here, 90 or 100 bucks. Gonna get one of them ordered. Hopefully that fixes our problem. All right, so it's been a minute since you saw me last on this one. Our friends really did a number on it. When they stole it, they ripped the wires out of the antenna back here to cut off the communication. And when I say they ripped them out, they ripped them out. This is the original antenna that was on the back of it. And as you can see, one of the connectors is missing. They ripped it right off the circuit board, which meant the antenna was no good. We had to replace that. And they also damaged the wiring harness. The problem was Land Rover didn't just sell that little harness. It was the entire rear body harness for over $2,000. So I found one on eBay from our friends across the pond in England. Took a couple weeks to get it here, but I got the connectors that we needed. We've cut them off of there, repaired the wiring harness, got the new antenna on there. Now we got to see what else we got. So let me find Joe. Joe, come on. All right, Joe, what did you do? Show me the magic.
I found another wire connector if you can look down in there where it's bent off to the side and,
Oh yeah.
and it wasn't making a connection.
Wow, jeez, oh Pete.
So I had to put another connector in.
And where was this? Up in the headliner?
In the antenna. Now it works. It's showing the rest of the
We got a moving map on our dash. Do I take his word for it? Oh, hell no. Let's go check this out. Okay, ready? Look at that. It's got us in Cincinnati, Ohio. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. It's got us right where we belong, right here in Cincinnati, Ohio. That is awesome. Good job, Joe. Finally, I can take a sigh of relief. We didn't have to take it to the dealer and spend $5 grand. Joe was able to get her done. All right, let's get this thing put back together. I want to get it out of here. You're getting me excited. Get this thing off to detail. Ooh, yeah, some of my favorite words. Just don't hurt yourself.
Yeah, I'm getting old.
We don't need any workers' comp claims on this thing. It's not worth it. Joe's got it all back together, got it connected up, got it working, which means I finally get to say my favorite words in rebuilding. This one, headed off to detail. The Ghost Rover is back from detail and she is looking really nice. I am impressed with how they got this paint to shine up and the interior with that cream colored leather. It is sleek and elegant, got a nice classic look to it. I really wish this car had a third row, or I'd have kept it for myself. But instead, she's headed to the sales lot, and we are gonna go look at the numbers. So let's go over the numbers on our 2018 Land Rover Range Rover HSE. By the time I paid all the Copart's fees, I got $15,229 into her, and then I spent another 600 bucks getting it shipped over here from Baltimore. The parts and labor weren't bad on this one. 750 bucks in labor, mostly screwing around with that headliner and those different wiring harnesses and stuff. The parts, we did put a new set of tires on it. That added up pretty quick, 1,370 in parts, and then another 325 getting her cleaned up. So total, where she sits right now, I got $18,272 into her. But the days on market's not good. It's 73 days on market. Fortunately, it books at for over $30,000. It is a $32,292 book value on that truck. But For those of you that have been watching this channel, we've done over 40 videos. You've never seen me do this. We're gonna start this truck at 73.5% of market. And that's for 3 reasons. First of all, it's a Land Rover. Second of all, it's a Land Rover. And third of all, it's a Land Rover. These things do not move good, so you gotta start them cheap. That gets us an asking price of $23,750. We'll probably end up taking $500 off, selling it for $23,250, which gives us a nice even contribution margin of $5,000. That is right at our corporate allocation, so it's not necessarily a winner, but it's certainly not a loser. It was a fun rebuild, and I got to drive around in a Land Rover. Thanks for watching to the end. If you like this kind of content, be sure to like and subscribe. I'm Matt Ryan. This is another episode of NKY Auto.